Sex will make you stay in an abusive marriage. Sex will let you marry someone who you know is not good for you. Sex will cause some people to commit murder. Sex can cause somebody to walk out and leave their wife or leave their husband and their children. Sex can cause someone to turn a blind eye to the abuse of their own children. Sex can cause people to get into debt trying to buy someone things that's really outside of their budget. Sex can kill, steal, and destroy your entire life. Sex can cause you to be having unprotected sex with a stranger. Sex can cause that married man and married woman to go out there and have unprotected sex with their lover. Sex can cause you to spend money that you have been saving for years. Sex can cause you to put your whole life and career and well-being on the line. So the message: sex responsibly. Sex responsibly. Why does this happen? Well, people tend to ignore the Bible. They feel like, the Bible is just this fairy tale book written by man. But then they'll believe in another book written by man. It says the Bible is written by men, inspired by the Holy Spirit. So really, it's just a matter of what you want to believe. And some people, they don't believe in any books. But regardless, we find a lot of things, a lot of the writings and the teachings of the Bible are absolute, true. It comes right back where we go, wow, this was here. And nevertheless, what does it say? For you to be going around and sleeping with a bunch of different people, you're going to create soul ties. That's number one. When you sex irresponsibly, when you have intimacy with random people, you have soul ties. You connect with somebody and you're going to make poor decisions. Sometimes if you already have no control over yourself, you have no disciplines, and you get a taste of sex, you're going to start making bad decisions. And we're not talking any sex. We're talking about that good, delicious sex that makes your toes curl and all those different things. It is entrapment, especially when you're doing it outside of the institution of marriage. Now, even within marriage, yes, things can happen, because you can get married to a person who blows your mind with sex, but yet they're blowing your financial savings. They're blowing things morally and ethically, but the sex is so good, you just can't think straight. And so, but how much more so when you are not married? You'll find when you're not married, people that are not married, they're making connections with all these different people. And then you wonder why sometimes you find yourself being in this toxic cycle with this individual or these people, making poor decisions, losing your friends and your job over somebody that you're having sex with. Well, sex is more than just connecting for pleasure, but it connects your soul. You become one. And that's why sometimes you wonder why sometimes you'll find out there are some things that you're thinking and doing that you never used to do. Maybe you're paranoid. Maybe your temper is just, all of a sudden you're very angry about things. You're suicidal and you weren't this way. A lot of times it's who you connected with. And sometimes when you're sleeping with a person who has mental issues, they're struggling with some things, they're struggling with anxiety and depression, those things could transfer, whether you believe it or not. It's not a matter of you believe it. It happens, because no one wants anxiety. No one wants depression. No one wants to feel suicidal. Nobody wants to really take their life, but yet you see it happens all the time. Nobody wants to be unhappy on purpose, but it happens. And while there may be studies of the brain and all of that, that is the natural aspect of it. There may be a natural evidence of certain things that's changing, but it is something that's happening in the soul, the very core of our being. And so when you're sleeping around with different people, you're going to catch what they got. You're going to get their spiritual cooties. And so you're mixed up and you're locked in and you're tied in. And you pair that with a good sex and the mind-boggling sex and all that he or she can do to make you feel. You won't think straight. You'll make bad decisions. This is what causes women to stay in toxic and abusive relationship. Men who stay in toxic and abusive relationship because she's got him with that sex. She's got him with that good sex. He knows how to make your toes curl. And that's why you must guard your heart and guard your body. You can't allow just any and everybody to become one with you. It will change your mind. It will cause even the most rational, educated, sound mind person to go completely in different directions. Because you become entrapped in that. And now you find yourself dealing with a lot of emotional and even physical abuse and games. So what does it mean to sex responsibly? Stop sleeping around with people as an unmarried person. And you may be married and you're sleeping around with everybody, including or but your own spouse. Cut those things. If you're single, be celibate. It's possible to be celibate. When you're celibate, you'll be able to think clearer and see things clearer. You'll have a discipline over your body where you don't have to. Doesn't mean that you don't have those desires. Of course, those desires are there. But you won't have this urge to do stuff. And then you'll be in these relationships where people try to blind you with physical ecstasy while hiding their character that is shot and their poor character. You'll make better choices. Look at a person's character. Believe what someone does and not what and not what they say to you. Stop allowing people that shows you who they are, giving them opportunities to keep offending and doing things to you over and over again. Because once that sex hit, you're not going to think straight. Now, there's some of you may say, oh, this doesn't apply to me. I'm not this type of person. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. I'm not going to challenge that. But I guarantee you that there are people right now, you're wondering, why am I not able to leave this person? Why am I making these bad decisions? Why am I in this place where I'm crying and I'm in this bad toxic relationship and they keep hurting me and I feel like I'm losing my mind, I'm losing weight, I'm gaining weight, whatever it may be? It all started with that sex. Because sex with someone who is of low moral and ethics, that is a spiritual thing. That is a spiritual thing. And so you will find yourself being so locked in and tied into this person because what they do is they're deliberate. They're deliberate in giving you this out of this world sexual experience because they know that now they are going to start to mistreat you. They're going to start to do things that is detrimental to you. But if they can tie you in with sex, then you're not going to be able to leave. You won't leave. You rationalize everything that they're doing. You'll make excuses for them. So sex responsibly, that means waiting. That means being able to see the character of a person and not what they look like and not how good they smell and not how sexy they are. Wait for marriage. Sex before marriage, it feels great. It seems awesome. It seems right. And a lot of times there'll be these things that you'll think, well, I'm only committed to one person and I'm doing this and that and the other. But a lot of people, you'll find, if you look at your history, perhaps some of you'll look back and you realize what? You've been with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15 men or women. Yes, it was great, but they left. Yes, they can leave in marriage as well. That can happen. But they can leave you faster when you're single. And most times people are not getting married. They're doing marital stuff. They're doing couple stuff without the commitment. Why? And anyone would tell, some guys will tell you that. Females, we don't need a ring. We don't need a ring. We're already doing everything. It's not a big deal. It's just a piece of paper. If it's just a piece of paper, then get married. But they know it's not just a piece of paper. And they don't want that commitment. And then honestly, you don't want to just marry just to get married. You know, people, the Bible says it's better to marry than to burn. And they thought that just meant get married because you're burning. Get married because your sexual appetite is just up. That's not what that means. Because you can be burning, and meaning you have such a deep desire for sex and you're so out of control that you're going to marry somebody that's going to destroy your life. So sex responsibly. Wait for marriage. Watch the character of that person. Don't be drawn just by what they look like. And when they show you that ugly side, believe them. People can make mistakes, but you're going to know the difference between a mistake and a person that this is who they are. And when that's who they are, stop going in the habit of going back, then leaving, going back, then leaving, listening to their sob story, listening to all this stuff. Because I guarantee you this person is doing this right now. Their character has always been that way. And they may try to do right, but they can't because they're undisciplined. And maybe there's something about you right now that they want. So they'll do that apologizing. Or there's something else that they're working on, but they're not quite sure. They are working on another relationship, but it's not as steady as it is with you. So until it's more solidified, they're going to keep apologizing to you until something better, someone they deem to be better, or that relationship that they have been met, that other individual that they're messing with, until that becomes more solidified, or that person now has something that they consider worth being in a relationship with them to get, they'll stay with you. So you want to avoid being in the process of in and out, up and down, going back and forth. The reason why a lot of people stay in terrible relationships is because of sex. Do things God's way. Follow His lead. Do the things that He teaches us to do. Discipline your body. Walk in wisdom. Walk in understanding. Walk in discretion. Look at a person's character. Look at the way they behave. Look at their history. Don't believe what they say. Believe what they do. And when you do that, granted, you won't have a bunch of people as you've had in the past, and you may find yourself losing individuals. Okay? That cute guy, that gorgeous girl, whatever it may be. But you know who will come along? The right individual. And a lot of times you may think, oh, I'm tired of waiting on this person. So you give in and you decide to just go along with everybody. You realize like what they try to tell you, what you want is not realistic. There's no good men out there. There are no loyal men. There are no faithful men. It's better you just get one and work with him. Get a woman, work with her. But that's not true. It's not that they're not there. They're rare. They're rare. And sometimes they are healing and they're growing and they're restoring themselves because they probably followed that narrative, and they probably was with a person that hurt them and destroyed them. And so now that they're healing, they're getting better. And then there's some, it's not a matter of healing. They're out there, but they are very rare. They're often overlooked. because people are chasing after the things that society says, this is a type of woman, this is what she should look like, this is what he should look like, this is how much money he should make, she should make, this is what they should be doing, this is what they should be wearing. And so you overlook a good person because of their, they don't dress the way, they're not sexy, they're not this or that. Wait. Or you can compromise. But when you ever think to yourself, why did I get here? How did I lose my family? How did I lose my job? How did I lose my business? How did I lose my money? Why am I here pregnant and alone and living below a standard that I would want to have for myself? Why am I out here doing these things? Why am I here icing my face again, hiding my bruises? I will tell you, more often than not, sex was at the whole foundation of this. Not in all cases, but in most situations, sex outside of marriage, sex outside of the way God ordained it, sexing just because you want to, will lead you to a path of destruction and hurt and pain. Because it not only affects the body, but it affects the mind and the spirit. All right, guys, peace.